Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, EAA aiming for 2.5 million young eagles by AirVenture 2026. Award-winning songwriter among the 3 killed in Cirrus crash. Families of Air India 171 victims fire at Boeing and Honeywell. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. EAA aiming for 2.5 million young eagles by AirVenture 2026. The EAA has its sights set on a monumental goal to reach the 2.5 million mark for young eagles flown by next summer's AirVenture fly-in and air show at Oshkosh. During this year's AirVenture in July, the tally stood at little more than 60,000 flights short. That's when the discussion about reaching 2.5 million began in earnest. EAA took note that Young Eagle pilots recorded almost 63,000 flights during the 30th anniversary of the program in 2022 to 23. So, how to get there? By challenging each and every volunteer pilot to fly 25 Young Eagles between October 1st, 2025 and July 31st, 2026. The goal is definitely attainable if everyone steps up to the challenge. To sweeten the pot, EAA is promising a limited edition commemorative hat to all those pilots who do fly 25 or more Young Eagles during the period starting in just a few days and leading up to AirVenture 2026. Pilots will be able to track their progress on the EAA website and also follow the progress of others. Perhaps some will place friendly wagers with their pilot buddies to see who gets to 25 first. Beyond this challenge to volunteer pilots, EAA will be rolling out and announcing more elements of Mission 2.5 in the coming months. After the break, Alabama man arrested for shooting at medical helicopter.
It's time to upgrade your power plant to the first FAA-certified clean sheet engine design in over 60 years. Delta Hawk's jet fuel-powered liquid-cooled turbocharged engine produces turbine performance at 40% better fuel efficiency of typical reciprocating engines, while also achieving exceptional reliability and significant reduction in cost of ownership. Reserve your engine package today at deltahawk.com.
I'm currently using the Hartsel Talon, by far the best aerobatic propeller ever come out.
I use the Trailblazer. It adds performance to the Super Decathlon and dependability, and it's rugged.
Hartsel's been an excellent partner for Whip Air, just in terms of your product support as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demand.
It's helping us all have better performing airplanes.
It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Alabama man arrested for shooting at medical helicopter. A man who was arrested for shooting at a medical transport helicopter said he was shooting at what he thought was a drone as the aircraft was landing in Autauga County, Alabama. A flight nurse was injured by a ricocheting bullet during the incident in which multiple rounds were fired at the helo. Peter Matthew Ellison, aged 48, has been charged with discharging a firearm into an occupied vehicle while the life flight helicopter was landing in a rural field during a pre-dawn medevac mission. Textron adds Starlink upgrade for Cessna Citation Latitude. Textron Aviation announced a new high-speed internet connectivity upgrade option for the Cessna Citation Latitude after the FAA issued an approval for Aeromex Starlink Supplemental Type Certificate, which uses the Starlink constellation of low Earth orbit satellites for more reliable connectivity over land, water, and remote areas where typical Wi-Fi may not have service. Aeromex STC uses the Starlink Aviation Kit, which consists of an Aero terminal antenna, power supply unit, wireless access points, and harnessing. It requires only a power input from the aircraft. RCAF 15-wing Moose Jaw gets first 2 Astra II aircraft. The Royal Canadian Air Force is transitioning to the Future Aircrew Training Program as the first 2 Grob CT-102B Astra II basic training aircraft arrived at 15-wing Moose Jaw in Saskatchewan. The 15-wing will receive 3 more Astra IIs by the end of the year, with the full complement of 23 anticipated over the coming months. The CT-102B Astra II will be the primary basic flight training aircraft for the RCAF under a 25-year, $10 billion FACT program. Injured hiker rescued from Vancouver's Mount Seymour. A hiker stuck on North Vancouver's Mount Seymour was very lucky to have a cell signal to make a call that enabled him to be rescued after sustaining a lower body injury that prevented him from moving further. North Shore Rescue, based in North Vancouver, saved the ill-equipped man from what rescuers called potentially, quote, quite a bad situation. A helicopter was dispatched, but heavy clouds prevented the Helo from getting to the area. When the clouds cleared, the helicopter was able to hoist the hiker and transport him to the Capilano Search and Rescue Station, where he was cared for by paramedics. That's it for today's Trip Around the Patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Award-winning songwriter among the 3 killed in Cirrus crash. A Cirrus SR22T crashed in a field near Macon County Airport in Franklin, North Carolina on September 18th, missing an elementary school by just a couple hundred feet. All 3 occupants, songwriter Brett James, wife Melody Carole, and stepdaughter Meryl Maxwell Wilson, tragically lost their lives in the incident. The aircraft, a Cirrus SR22T G5 GTS Carbon, registered as November 218 Victor Bravo, took off from John C. Toon Airport just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, at around 12:40 p.m. Central. Its final destination was Macon County Airport in Franklin, North Carolina, located just over 200 miles southeast of the departure airport. The flight seemed to go seamlessly up until the Cirrus neared Macon County. ADS-B data shows that the plane overflew the runway and went around in a short left-hand traffic pattern. It leveled off over the runway again, this time only 40 feet above the ground, before beginning a shallow climb, slowing to around 70 knots and veering left. The plane ended up in a small field between the airport and Iotla Valley Elementary School, with no post-crash fire and no chute deployment. Brett James is most well known for his work on Carrie Underwood's Jesus Take the Wheel, Martina McBride's Blessed, and Kenny Chesney's When the Sun Goes Down. After these messages, families of Air India 171 victims fire at Boeing and Honeywell.
Looking for a new generation of proven and efficient aviation power plants that boast modern engineering, electronic ignition, and both direct and gear drive systems? With 100 horsepower to 240 horsepower, the Skyline and Redline engines offer uncommon value in an overpriced industry. Whether you are looking for fixed wing or rotor, MW Fly Americas has been established to service the American market with dedication and expertise. MWFlyAmericas.com.
Meet the first of a new generation of the M-Class family. The M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name, an indomitable force. The M700 Fury transcends traditional limits. With more power, blistering performance, a finely appointed interior, and the luxury of what matters most. Time. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
Direct Fly USA proudly introduces the new Alto NG, a single-engine, 2-seat light sport aircraft for the North American market. This simple, all-metal aircraft design provides low-maintenance cost, easy, comfortable access, and responsive flight controls. Equipped with the Rotax 912 engine and a ballistic parachute, the Alto NG is reliable and safe. Learn more about the Alto NG at directflyusa.com.
Welcome back. Families of Air India 171 victims fire at Boeing and Honeywell. 3 months after 260 people were killed in an Air India 787-8 crash, families of 4 victims have filed what will likely be the first of many lawsuits against both Boeing and Honeywell. They accuse the manufacturers of product defects and negligence, referencing an alleged issue with the fuel cutoff switch that could have caused the plane to lose power on takeoff. The complaint says that the switches were defectively designed and poorly placed. According to flight data, both switches moved from run to cutoff just 3 seconds after liftoff, shutting down fuel supply to the aircraft's engines. Pilots allegedly attempted to recover, but did not have enough time or altitude to restart. The Dreamliner crashed less than a mile from the runway. Though authorities initially reported no survivors, 1 passenger was later pulled from the wreckage alive. Witnesses described heavy smoke and debris spread across the residential neighborhood. In total, 229 of 230 passengers, 12 crew members, and 19 people on the ground were killed in the accident. Lawyers for the families presented a 2018 FAA report confirming Boeing and Honeywell were aware that switches were being delivered with their locking mechanisms disengaged. The suit further argues that the cutoff switches were installed directly behind the thrust levers, which are a high-traffic zone that pilots constantly manipulate during takeoff. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching!